Interesting facts from around the world. Interesting facts about grizzly bears. The grizzly bear, a huge brown-haired predator, has a reputation of one of the world's most impressive killing machines. 2.5 meters from nose to tail, weighing up to 360 kilograms, these fierce creatures have terrified humans for centuries. Let's look into their love for eating smaller bears, chewing on moths, and surviving the cold. The grizzly is a subspecies of the brown bear from North America. They are found in Canada and Alaska, with smaller populations in the west of the US. They can be blonde or black in colour and have a huge muscular hump on their back. Grizzlies from North America are a protected species under the Endangered Species Act. They are well known for eating large quantities of food in preparation for long periods of sleep in winter dens. From extended gestation periods to impressive senses of smell and sight, let's look at a few interesting facts about the grizzly bear. They may look large, heavy and lazy, but they can really move, hitting speeds up to 56 kilometers per hour for short bursts. It's advised to not try to run away from a grizzly. They range from over 0.9 of a meter to 2.9 meters in length, and an impressive 2.4 meters tall when standing on two legs. Adults can weigh between 317 and 360 kilograms, with some males weighing as much as 770 kilograms. A subspecies of brown bear, native to North America, are able to make a meal out of anything they like, including bison, moose, and elk. Despite a reputation as only being a carnivore, they also eat fruits, nuts, leaves, berries. They even eat mice. Gluttony doesn't start until they begin the phase of preparing for hibernation, then consuming enough food to gain up to 1.4 kilograms a day. Light-coloured guard hairs give them the name of not only grizzly, but also silvertip. Over 700 grizzlies are in or near Yellowstone National Park. Officials constantly monitor how park visitors and bears peacefully coexist. Bears rummaging in food containers can lead to human-bear contact. The park's Grizzly and Wolf Discovery Centre checks garbage cans and coolers to make sure they're bear-resistant. Though nothing is really bear-proof, a bear will jump on a canister with its front legs until the lid pops off, looking like a person giving someone CPR. Containers are tested. If they last at least 1 hour before opening, they can then be advertised as being approved for bear-inhabited environments. Once common throughout the west of the US, the bear population has been eliminated from almost all of its territories in the lower 48 states. Then it was classified as an endangered species by the US Fish and Wildlife Services in 1975. Conservation efforts have assisted in bringing the numbers up. Approximately 15 to 1700 grizzlies in 5 areas of the US in Glacier and Yellowstone National Parks. The increased population may help in the removal from the endangered species list. More conservation in the grizzlies' territories is required to keep their numbers from falling more. It's not true that grizzlies can't climb trees. Their long claws and weight make climbing difficult. They need support from evenly spaced branches. Grizzlies can climb vertically if they need to. Grizzly bears have a distinctive hump on their shoulders. Unlike black bears, the hump is all muscle. The grizzly needs to power its front legs for speed and digging winter dens in its rocky home. The added strength also helps them dig through bush and soil when searching for roots, insects and plants. As well as being omnivorous, they can also be cannibals. They've been seen eating black bears in Canada. Grizzlies are opportunistic and willing to eat black bears, sometimes just 20% of their size, if needed. Not just black bears, a 10-year-old male was seen eating a 6-year-old female brown bear. Moths are at the top of their menu. Bears are willing to climb to alpine heights at Montana's Glacier National Park to gorge on the flying insects. Grizzlies will go to great lengths to devour in excess of 40,000 moths in one sitting. using the fat stores they build up in summer and fall to make the energy they need to last the several months of winter while in their dens. They are not true hibernators. Grizzlies spend winters in a state of torpor. They can wake if necessary, but mostly remain in their dens, not drinking, eating, or producing waste. An ill-advised decision, explorer Zebulon Pike gave his friend President Thomas Jefferson 2 grizzly cubs in 1807. Jefferson accepted them and kept them in a cage near the White House, then later re-gifted the cubs to museum operators Charles Wilson Pearl. One of the cubs was shot after getting too aggressive with Pearl's family. Female grizzly bears don't have their first cubs born after a pregnancy period that lasts from 6 to 9 months, until they are between 4 and 7 years old. The cubs, which are born tiny, blind and helpless, weigh only half a kilogram. The mother stays in the den with the cubs for several months until they are big and strong enough to leave the den. The mother continues to protect and feed the cubs for 2 to 3 years and will not breed again until the cubs have left her. While grizzlies are known for their sense of smell, they have also several ways of communicating with each other. Grizzlies use sound, moaning, grunting and growling, when communicating with mates or young offspring. They leave their scent behind on trees so other bears are aware of their presence in the area. Their body language reveals a lot about how they feel. When uneasy, grizzly bears move their heads back and forth, making snorting sounds and clacking their teeth. When aggressive, signs include lowering their head, ears back, and holding their mouths open. In Alaska and Canada, where grizzlies and polar bear ranges overlap, there have been rare sightings of what witnesses call roller bears or pizzlies. With light-coloured fur and large heads, a hybrid super bear born from interspecies mating. Male grizzlies who roam into polar territories, finding female polar bears. Some believe climate change is a reason for the two getting together to couple. When we talk about intelligence, grizzlies don't get the same publicities that some do, but don't underestimate them. Bears remember hotspots for food even after 10 years since they last came to the area. Bears have been seen covering their tracks to obscure themselves with rocks and trees, avoiding detection by hunters. This was my first video on bears. I'm sure it won't be my last. Please comment with your ideas. It's always great to hear from you. Bye for now.
Hey, please take a moment to hit the subscribe button, it helps me a lot. Have a great day.
Interesting facts from around the world.